and welcome back to White Claw Wednesday. This is episode 80, and it's a special episode because we're back in the library studio.
The study, man.
The study, that's the word I was looking for. Thank you, Ryan. And we have a guest because we're hitting a big number, big old 80, and we're here with a personal friend of ours, Dominic Piscatella.
Hello, everyone. How are we today?
Welcome, man.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome to White Claw Wednesdays.
We've officially exceeded the Italian name limit. Just kidding. We have no limit to Italian names. We have both Finazzo and Piscatella here, two great names, and it just makes sense because, Italy just, won
the World
there-ish.
Cup.
This is perfect.
Yeah, exactly.
This really is perfect.
First time since 1968.
It's been a while. They won a World Cup in the 2000s, early 2000s.
Oh, okay. I don't follow soccer that much.
The Euros, I think you're right, though.
Oh, then the
tournament.
Euros. Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So rules are rules. We got to crack open these claws.
Oh, yeah.
Do a little cheers here.
Oh, yeah.
So Dom's about to try the
gonna-
iced tea for the first time. See what he thinks.
That right in the mic. Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Damn, the peach is pretty good.
Yeah.
Peach is fire.
The peach is amazing.
Peach isn't really, sugary. It's not the easiest to drink, but it really gives you that iced tea flavor,
It's 1 gram of sugar, man.
I know, right?
I know, it's incredible.
The twisted teas is like, oh my god.
And are you getting, what's the comparison you're drawing between this and a twisted tea?
I mean, this is definitely. I mean, a twisted tea is just a hard tea,
Mm-hmm.
This is definitely seltzer flavored tea, I would say.
So
I don't know.
I'm not familiar with the Twisteds. Are they kind of like cider type things, just like iced tea?
I think it's just iced tea with malt liquor in it, to be honest.
Oh.
But there's a lot of sugar, like 30 plus grams.
Yeah,
Oh,
like
yeah.
I think I had like 7 or 8 one night.
Mm-hmm.
I was off the next day. It's the only time I've been hungover. I was like, I do not want to drink these again. Yet I continue to.
Yeah,
do.
the sugar hangover is real too.
It's disgusting.
And then I've also heard the malt, just using malt liquor can kind of make your drink not as good. I mean, that's what I've heard about the cacti. Have you had a cacti hard seltzer?
Never had them.
See, I hear they're made with malt liquor, which makes them not as
Didn't
refreshing.
we have them in Hawaii? Didn't you try them in Hawaii, or was that just me?
No, we didn't try cacti in Hawaii.
Oh,
No,
okay.
no. I don't think anybody. I don't know many people who have tried
I tried cacti in
Oh,
Hawaii.
you have
Maybe
tried cacti.
I'm remembering
like
you
Travis
there.
Scott's hard seltzer.
Maybe that's why there shouldn't be malt liquor.
What'd you think of it?
I thought it was pretty good. I don't know. I mean, it wasn't to die for. I think the key selling point is it's like 7%.
Yeah,
They're 7.
I think it's 7. Yeah,
they are.
which usually, I mean, these are like 5.
Yeah.
But it wasn't incredible.
Yeah,
I mean, but when you're that big and you make a drink like that, that's decent. It's going to continue selling.
exactly. Yeah,
So
and they also have Eric Andre on their commercials too, which is a great way to sell anything. Have Eric Andre just screaming at you to buy something. That'll work.
I love Eric Andre, man. That's funny. He's a classic guy.
So, Dom, we like to discuss the careers of our guests.
Yeah.
like
because
dabble with it.
because
Yeah.
we've had a variety of career interests in our guests, and you are continuing that trend correct me if I have the title wrong, but you are the head groundskeeper for the Redlands golf course, right?
That is false.
That is false.
That
Damn
is
it.
false.
How dare you?
Come on, man.
But it's help me out here. Correct me.
I am an irrigator tech, so basically anything water related, which
Okay.
all golf courses are water related. That's my job.
Okay.
Like today, I had an 8-hour long repair.
Wow.
Was not
Damn.
fun. Yeah.
Dude, the water system in a golf course must be insane.
Yeah. We have 4 pumps. We pump during our overseeding process, which is it's late September through mid-October. There was one day I think we were pumping just like 1 million gallons a day.
Oh my
Christ.
god.
It was crazy. I mean,
Where
you
does the
think about-
water come from?
Yeah. Where you guys get that?
So Redlands, we have we get our water through the city, and I want to say we pay like 0.04 cents a gallon for water.
That's really nice.
Yeah,
Wow.
That's not residential.
No.
It's not the same rate. Wow.
we're
Wow.
So before I got hired at Redlands, I did an internship at Sun Lakes in Beaumont.
Yeah.
I did a day long. My dad's friend's the superintendent out there, and he was saying their water budget is $1 million a year. Our budget at Redlands is, I think, like 130,000. So just the difference between a 20-minute, 30-minute drive.
Is that because Beaumont's a more
Wow.
popular place to play golf, or
Less popular then, right?
I would say it would probably have to do the way the city charges their water,
Gotcha.
the price per gallon.
Well, I think with Redlands, and to be honest, I can't even pinpoint Beaumont on the map, but Redlands, you've got all that San Bernardino mountains, right? So I'm assuming they've got...
They probably have a couple of wells that run off from the mountain.
Right,
and
they probably
everything.
have groundwater they can sort of suck up somehow.
I know at Victoria Club, because it was established. I mean, it says 1903, but it was Victoria Golf and Polo Club during the 1890s. They actually bought their own rights from Box Springs Mountain, I believe. So they have a well that just runs from Box Springs to Victoria Club. So they hardly have to pay water.
That's awesome.
It was pretty interesting learning about that.
How did you learn about that?
So I was working at Victoria Club in the cart barn. I worked there from 2011 to... Oh, no, 2011. Geez. 2014. Hold on. Sorry. I worked there 2014 to 2020. So I was there...
Like
I was
16
there
or something?
Yeah, I was 16. I just got my
yeah.
driver's license. I was like, I want to drive some golf carts. No, so I worked there, and, my dad was a member there from 2004 to 2010. So you just kind of learn the history from when you were a kid to, go into the work in there and everything like that.
Nice.
It was pretty fun.
So tell me your title again.
So I'm an irrigation tech. Broken pipe, broken sprinklers, valve replacements, mainly.
Yeah.
Our morning duties, we check the greens. So we have a thing called a moisture meter. And what we do is we go around and you just probe it on the green probably like 20 different times, all different spots. Anything below 22% water volume content in our soil, we have to bust out the hose and just soak it down. Right now, I mean, normally... It's actually
incredible.
It's pretty toasty today. It's what, like 100?
Oh yeah,
it's ridiculously
It's running
hot.
right around 99 right now.
I don't know about Redlands, but right now it's hot.
It's usually about the same,
Yeah.
maybe 1 or 2 degrees difference. I work more. Redlands Country Club is off into the hills more, so it stays a little. Sorry, excuse me. It stays a little cooler.
You're good, bro.
We get those all the time.
Trust
I
me.
do.
You've gone right in the mic before.
Yeah, I burped right in the mic. many
That was
times.
real polite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It stays a little cooler in Redlands, or I should say where I'm at. But we're still. It's beginning of summer, almost. It's midsummer, right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah, it's
it's officially
because June
midsummer.
22nd, June 20th, or June
Almost
22nd.
August 22nd is the end of summer. Is that right?
September 20.
September. Okay, yeah, midsummer. There you go.
Yeah, so we're about
Midsummer,
midsummer. We've definitely had days there where it's 104, 105 degrees. All the other crew gets to go home, but
Yeah.
me and the other irrigator, he's the
You got to keep the plants alive, man.
yeah, he's the
All that
second
greenery.
super.
Wow.
It's crazy, but no, you're out there just hand watering stuff. It's fun. It's wild. The winter's my off season, but the summer is where I make the most bucks. All the overtime money. It's nice.
When you say off season, would you relate it to like a teacher who has summers off?
I shouldn't. I used the wrong term. Not off season. My slow season.
Slow
Less
season.
work
okay.
season.
So,
Okay.
you're not really focusing on watering that much because, I mean, down here, that's kind of our wet season. So we have a lot of time to catch up on things we weren't able to do during the summer or overseeding process.
Did you do any like landscaping?
During the winter, I'll definitely help out with that just because it's a little slow for myself and the other irrigator.
Yeah.
But definitely, just with turf compaction and everything and soil compaction throughout the year, your turf heads, they're probably about yay big and the pipe's about 2.5 feet down. So you have to, dig around it, not trying to hit waters or wires or pipe. And then you have to either raise the head or lower the head depending on that. And that's when like the mowers, I'll start getting bitched at by the guys. And they're like, I keep hitting the same head. I'm like, I'm sorry. Like I'm busy right now, man. There's like 4 broken pipes. I got to go fix them.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
So whenever you're driving by a golf course and you see the luscious greenery, it's because of people like you.
Yes. Yeah.
So how many people are in
Damn.
your team?
So we have COVID honestly kind of killed, I don't want to say killed the golf industry, but definitely put a strain on it.
Yeah.
A lot of people making the money from unemployment, so they don't want to go back. I think we have about like 9 or 10 full-time guys right now, and then we have 4 part-timers, and they're the high school kids that, or I should say, recently graduated from high school.
Yeah.
And my boss knows like one of their dads. He's like, if you guys want a job, come work during the summer. So they're only there for 4 hours a day, but they do like the weed eating and the stuff that I don't want. Yeah, the stuff I don't want to do. But
nice.
You know, I'll do it if I have to.
Yeah.
They're paying me no matter what.
So you basically got. Oh man, you got like the people who run and get coffee, pretty much the equivalent of that, you know.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Nice.
They're like the interns.
Yeah, the interns.
They get paid.
Yeah.
and I mean that's where you were basically when you were at the cart barn in a way.
Yeah, 100%. The cart barn was. I had some fun times there, but.
What's that? I'm sorry.
That was his job at Victoria Club when he used to.
Oh,
So
right.
membership service, they would come down.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you would grab their bag. You'd have to know their first, last name, their title, I guess. We had a lot of doctors, a lot of lawyers.
The Padawan becomes the master.
Exactly.
There we go.
Exactly.
There we go.
Yeah.
So what made you kind of want to continue in the field? Just
So
connections, you're sort of in the industry, or?
So my dad, he's longtime Riverside guy. He had his own landscaping business for almost 40 years.
Wow. It's impressive.
It had to be like 2010, 2011, like right after the financial crisis, or I should say when people were, you know, still struggling but starting to recover. My dad's crew went from 25 guys down to 2, just me and him. So
Jesus,
it was like 8th grade summer. I would go work for my dad in the morning for 8 hours and then go straight to football practice.
Fucking hell week, man.
Yeah.
hell week all year around.
Yeah, it was a wild summer. But he had a contract with Evergreen Cemetery downtown. Is it Evergreen? Yeah, Evergreen, not Olivewood. Evergreen.
Yeah.
So my dad and he would ride the mower around the headstones, and my job for 8 hours was to weed eat around the headstones and
you were
stuff
like
that.
The what is it called? The trimmers or
the weed eaters. Yeah. And then he had like apartment complexes that he did out in Moreno Valley, just as residentials and everything. But no, I kind of just. I like the manual labor aspect. Not a lot of people like manual labor.
Yeah.
It definitely sucks at the end of the day, you know.
Wait, no, Dom. That's when it's good, when you're done, right?
Yeah, you get to crack you go
you
home.
can crack a cold one. Yeah.
Just like right now, cracking a White Claw.
Yeah.
But no, that's the it's satisfying. Like, you know, you get to wipe your hands at the end of the day. You fix something, you make it look green again.
No, absolutely, man. That's definitely something that I miss. Like, I mean, I'm a 9 to 5 behind the desker, you know, and especially now, like, it's brutal. Like, I'm just behind a desk literally all day in my room, you know, and I mean, I asked Frank to be my officiant and stuff, and I really got into like woodworking.
Yeah.
And I made these guys some really cool wooden stein glasses. Oh man,
very cool.
Such a good time, dude. Just getting to work. I don't know, woodworking and using your hands and learning new trades and skills and stuff like that. I mean, it's definitely something that I want to continue doing. And I mean, there's just an itch for it in everyone, you know?
Did you go to Gage?
Yeah.
Yeah, did you take woodshop?
No.
Dude, you should have taken woodshop. That
Dude,
class was so fun.
This guy was one of the rare choir guys. This guy was in choir.
Hey, nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it.
Because I didn't do woodshop because I was doing orchestra.
It's true, yeah.
You know, so it was that was the funny time.
Well,
like,
it was like choir and orchestra were the only ones that didn't do woodshop.
That didn't do woodshop.
Like, what was the other elective?
There was computers, woodshop, and a third one, right?
Computers was not.
No, the computers was an elective.
Because didn't you do like a trio?
I did computers too.
You took like 3 classes. One was first trimester, one was second trimester, one was third trimester.
Yeah.
And one of them was woodshop, and one of them was computers, and the third one I can't remember. Art. Yeah. It was art, computers, and woodshop.
That sounds crazy. I feel like I did choir all year.
Yeah, you did choir all year 7th and 8th.
Because that was your elective.
Yeah, that was your elective.
Oh, okay.
So basically, the kids who were like who were doing music, would just be doing music all year round, and then the other kids like sampled the other stuff, you know, woodworking, computers, and art in general. So you kind of did like a 1, 2, 3, because remember our year was split into 3 trimesters.
Yeah, trimesters. Yeah. Yeah, I would go back and do the same thing though. Honestly,
you would do choir again.
Oh yeah,
There's
I mean,
nothing wrong with it.
I turned out okay, you know.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good
Could have
point.
used your the extra skills for woodworking and everything.
Well, yeah, I mean, what's crazy is my dad is super into woodworking.
Oh, okay.
And he literally has built like so much. I mean, Frank can tell you our backyard looks incredible, and I mean it's all him. And it's kind of crazy because I went to college. I went to middle school without taking woodworking. I guess that was step 1.
Yeah.
Then I went to college, didn't learn anything, you know. And I came back, and my dad's this like just sort of like he's mastered his own trade. He's like selling things and stuff, and I'm like, man, that's so cool, to be able to just like work hard at something and grind it out, and I don't know, to create something, tangible.
Exactly.
It's really cool. It's definitely really cool.
I see a lot of, your dad and Tristan's dad as well. And also probably Dom's dad. I mean, it's like the do-it-yourself guy.
100%.
It's like I'm not gonna call somebody to fix this because I can fix this and I like to fix it.
Yeah, that's where I want to be with like irrigation and everything. If someone needs my help, I'm like, yeah, I'll come help you. And stuff.
Well, dude, I just bought a house, so if you're trying to do some private contractor work,
that's true. Ryan has recently become.
I did just buy a house.
A homeowner. Wait,
where'd you buy a house at?
Yeah,
Yorba Linda.
Ryan's a homeowner.
Might be a drive for you, but
dude,
Linda's,
it's really like halfway between where I live in Redondo Beach and Dominic and right here. Because when I was driving to Riverside this afternoon and I see the Yorba Linda sign for the exit on the freeway, it was pretty much the halfway point of my drive.
Like you take just basically to go from Riverside to like Newport Beach.
Yeah.
You take the 91 and you're basically when you pass Corona, there's this mountain range that you have to go through. Mm-hmm. It's right off that mountain range. So as soon as you get past that, like back to civilization pretty much, you take a right and that's Yorba Linda.
Oh, okay, I see.
So it's like Orange County, the edge of Orange County.
The Yorba Linda section of the 91 freeway is one of the most recognizable sections. If you were to drive through it, Don, you'd be like, oh yeah, this it's kind of got like it's got all the stores, it's like all the shops. You see signs for shops and you kind of look off to your left or your right depending on which way you're driving, and you just see everything from Home Depot to GameStop. It's just got like everything in this little section. Like that's where it's
a nice area.
Okay.
It's like the only place in Orange County where you can get decent weather, land, and not an HOA. It's like Yorba Linda. And then if you want to keep going really...
that's the trio there.
If you want to really keep going, you can go like La Brea and then... or Brea and La Habra.
Oh, okay.
But like that's really
I know where Brea is at. So.
It's the city to the south of Brea.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right above... it's North Anaheim. It's basically where Yorba Linda is.
There we go.
I love North.
Anyways, my backyard is literally just this blank canvas.
Just dirt.
It's
sorry.
There we go. He's back. Yeah.
Sometimes my mic just drops. It's weird. It's just
Picking
grass, but literally like there's like it's such a weird system. I mean the family that lived there did not care at all. There's 6 sprinklers I think throughout the yard, and they just kind of stick up. Like they're evenly spread out, and they just stick up, and like that's the sprinkler system. And
they just always stick up.
They're literally out of the ground. It's the weirdest thing I've ever seen. And I looked at it and I was like, I can get a good price on the home,
Yeah.
But I seriously have to do so much work to the house, and the backyard is one thing that I really want to do some work on.
Improvements and stuff.
I have to completely redo the sprinkler system, all that stuff. So,
I mean, it sounds like we're established. A connection is being established for a reason here.
Hit me up, folks.
All I'm saying,
because that's what happens a lot when sometimes you try to like. I mean, I don't know, but I'm just assuming if you try to approach someone about helping you do something and they get a whiff of you have no idea what you're doing, they might start,
ramping up the
price, So you want an honest friend to come in and tell you what's good.
$60 an hour.
No, just already naming his price.
No, just messing around. But no, we did the same thing. So my parents moved to Idaho.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so they moved in April. And then
this past April.
Wow. So I live off of Washington now, and the house that we're renting, my roommates are actually trying to buy that one. So we've been trying to do stuff to the yard, but between our work schedules and everything, like I'm up at 4 a.m, out the door at 4:45 to get to work at 5:30. My roommate, he's not up till 9 or 10, and then he has work from 12 to 10 at night. So like,
right.
You guys got different shifts.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Plus you're renting. Like it's not your responsibility, right?
Yeah, but he wants to buy the house, and like he knows the people who own it. They're like somehow family friends, and it was their aunt that was living in the house. She's now in a care facility, I guess. So he knows them, and he's trying to like buy it from them, but he's trying to do the improvements right now. I mean, God bless him, you know, but at the
That's
same
so
time,
nice.
I'm just like, hey, man, I just pay my rent. Like, I'm just trying to sleep here and eat, you know? But no, we did, I added some new sprinklers on the front yard, and we're about to get it prepped and ready for the, once fall comes, is like the best time to lay down seed and everything.
Oh, okay.
And get your lawn ready for if you're trying to start a new lawn, it's either early spring or mid to late fall.
Good to know. You should start a YouTube channel, man. I'm being serious.
I was actually thinking about it. I wanted to start another podcast called Golf Uck Yourself.
Golf fuck yourself.
So I wanted to do that one, and it would focus around like like golf things.
Please do.
Like turf and what you could do with it.
Yeah.
But I've also wanted to create a YouTube channel of like how to actually show people, this is how you can test your irrigation system. You want a new lawn, this is what you do. Here are your differences between your grasses and stuff like that.
It's really I mean, those trades, those skills that you don't really like. I mean, there's probably schooling for that type of stuff.
Yeah, I'm actually enrolled. I'm going to turf management school at UCR.
Oh, right on. There you go.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt.
No, you're good. But like for me, like, am I white collar or blue collar?
You're white collar.
White collar.
Yeah, you're white collar.
I'm not going to school for that stuff. I rely on the internet, mainly YouTube,
of course.
To learn just what I need to get this specific project that I'm trying to do done, you know? And I really think it's a beautiful way to learn things. And to me, it's like you only know those trades if you're in that field, you
exactly.
know? And I mean, there's a huge market for people like me who's an idiot and all these things, but they want to try and do it. They want to get it done, you know? So yeah, man, I would highly encourage you to do it.
No, my dad made a lot of his money. So he did his regular routes, like he would have his monthly payment and stuff, but he would do sprinkler repair on the side. And I think he was like, when I said $60 an hour, I think that was my dad's rate because he was a professional. Like he was a professional.
It's good money.
And
it's good money.
People would be like, "This is way too expensive." They're like, "I can't believe you're charging this much." And he was like, "Lady, do you want to?" Lady, it's always a lady. It's so funny. It's always a lady.
It's like, do you want me to fix your stuff that you don't know how to fix? Or not,
he's like, do you want it done right or do you want to do it yourself and then call me a month later when it breaks? And he was like, and now it's $75 an hour when that happens.
Wow.
No, it was pretty funny listening to him talk about his customers and stuff. Nothing but nice things to say.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's sort of the. You get that when you're in like the contract kind of business, right? You get to negotiate and things and
negotiating,
exactly.
Yeah.
But no, they're up in Idaho now, so it's pretty crazy.
So is he doing the same thing up there?
Yeah, he's actually so he sold his business.
Oh, right on.
And then he's just a foreman for a landscape company up there, and they only work 6 months out of the year up there.
Because of the snow.
Yeah, because of the snow.
So how far north is he?
Damn.
So they're 2 hours northwest of Boise, and 40 minutes from. I want to say it's not Eugene. What's the funny name?
I don't
Eureka?
know. Good thing,
Eureka. That is
Eureka.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think they're 40 minutes from Eureka.
I mean, good thing we got a map there.
Yeah,
Because
we
I
do
don't
have
even know
the
where
map of
Boise
the
is
United
at.
States right
but Boise
here.
is right there.
Yeah, you see the red dot on Idaho?
So he's north of that.
North of that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Wow. Do they really get snow 6 months out of the year?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Or the ground's frozen, one of the two.
Oh, yeah.
But if you go even more north, towards like Coeur d'Alene, which is tippy top of Idaho, yeah, you're talking about like, I think it's like 14 feet of snow. Oh
yeah. Idaho has one of the cooler shapes of a state. It's got a unique border.
It's got to be the weirdest shape. I think.
I think it is because most of them are just pretty much kind of general squares or rectangles.
I was gonna say I just love the square states.
Yeah, that are just
like
perfect squares.
Wyoming.
Yeah.
Or like North Dakota is just a perfect square. Well, yeah, Wyoming is also a perfect square.
Like, can you imagine being just some sort of diplomat back in the day, and you're drafting up lines?
Yeah.
First of all, there's no Google Maps. You can't like search.
Exactly. You have no idea the territory you're marking in like
It's
a
like
general and like the big scope of things. It's kind of like we were at the beach this weekend. We're trying to draw lines on the sand for the volleyball court, and I finish a line and then I look at what I just did and it's like, wow, that's not straight at all. Like, and I think it's straight the whole time I'm scooting back on it, and then I take a look at it and it's just wavy all over the place. I'm imagining that's kind of how it was like here, in the terms of, you know, some lines were like, oh, I nailed that. Others were like, yeah, I fucked that one up.
I just want to see like an old school map of the United States from like the 1400s.
Oh yeah.
How different it is.
Like
Oh,
the way
yeah.
like when before they could scale the map correctly, they didn't know
Before
like,
they
what
got to go to
size.
outer space and
Yeah,
see what
see
it
what it
actually
looked
looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a great subreddit. I've talked about it sometimes on here. It's called Map Porn.
Map
Oh,
porn.
And
map
they'll
porn.
throw out like just random maps like that, and you'll get to see stuff like that. And it's kind of interesting, and I mean it's pretty cool to just see like what people were thinking back in the day. You know, it's like one of the posts was like sort of like you'd swipe for each picture, and it was like the 5 earliest, you know, most accurate maps they had, and you just sort of see the progression, and it's really cool to see. But I mean, again, like
Map porn. This is a subreddit, you said?
yeah.
I love it.
It's just called that.
I love it. I'm gonna have to go on.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them that are like super interesting like that.
So Dom, you were mentioning about, you know, thinking about different, you know, YouTube channels and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I just have to give you the specific shout out to everybody listening that, you know, you starting, you know, the Stay a While podcast,
Yeah.
was what put the idea of, you know, anybody can do a podcast in my head, you know, because like I remember you telling, like this was when I started at San Francisco State, late 2019. I remember you starting the podcast then. I remember like, you know, joining in on a couple Instagram lives when you were doing it, and it just kind of rolled into, you know, Ryan and I end up at Dolores Park, you know, going through White Claws and
Thinking we're the shit.
thinking we're the shit in terms of like just having deep conversations.
We did have
and
some
then
great
I was just
conversations.
I feel like I know for a fact, I can't remember who mentioned podcasting first,
Yeah.
but I know the reason why I brought it up was because I thought of you starting one, and I realized, right, we could do that, dude.
Yeah.
Like that. So Dominic, in a way, is the reason why this show exists, pretty much. So that's another reason why we wanted to have him on as a guest, because he kind of, you know, slapped me in the face with the truth of,
Gave
hey,
us some reason.
yeah, anybody
you know?
can do this.
Yeah.
shit, you know?
Anyone can.
It's really easy.
I mean, the first podcast I ever did was Instagram Live. I was bored one night. I literally taped a water bottle to a Sprite can and just wrote mic on it and just talked into it like it was a mic. And people were like, dude, that was great. Like, you were actually talking. Like, you didn't stop, and you didn't you couldn't think of things to say.
Yeah.
And then they were like, oh, there was the humor with the water bottle mic, and I was like, yeah, it was funny. But you know, I've always wanted to do a podcast. I listen to podcasts every day.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you get bored of music. You know, I like Joe Rogan. I know it's kind of stereotypical to say, but Joe Rogan's a good one.
Oh, we're big Joe Rogan.
Oh yeah,
fans
we
here.
are. We do. We love him.
Do you guys like Your Mom's House with Tom Segura and
Oh.
Christina
Oh, I
Pazizzi?
haven't listened to that. no.
I love that. That's one of my. I'm a big clip consumer of podcasts,
yeah, yeah.
and that the Your Mama's House is one of the biggest ones I always return to for clips, and also the two Bears One Cave with Bert Kreischer.
Yeah, Two Bears.
One of my
Cave's good.
favorite podcast clips is from Two Bears One Cave, where Tom Segura realizes that Bert Kreischer, you know, drinks all that Kool-Aid every morning.
He drinks half a gallon of Kool-Aid.
It's just watching him laugh in reaction to that. It's sipping it. It's just like those are the kind of magic, you know, podcast moments that you get. You know, you learn stuff about people's situations that really just blow you out of the water. Like, perfect example. I've realized there's a homeless person in Redondo Beach who I will now call the middleman, because I always see him in the same intersection on Artesia. Right when you're passing the Galleria to your left, coming into Redondo, he's always standing around that because, like, it's right over the freeway entrance and stuff. And I'll see him, and he's always got a middle finger up.
The middle man.
He's just standing
What's
there.
he doing?
I mean, he if he wasn't dressed, like, I mean, if his clothes weren't, you know, dirty and ripped up, and he wasn't himself dirty, his stance and his general demeanor don't appear homeless. You only know he's homeless because of his look. So he kind of just looks like a dude who's just standing perfectly still holding up the middle finger. And he's just holding it for all of traffic to see. He's literally flipping off every car that's coming by. And I've seen him going both ways, coming back to Redondo and leaving Redondo.
Both ways.
And I see him today again, and I'm like, okay, well, I got to mention this guy, because this guy doesn't give up. he's in a state where he just wants to flip everybody off, and I'm like, it's hilarious.
Those are the best homeless people, the consistent ones.
Yeah,
you know? I mean, this might be controversial.
It might be.
That's
Yeah.
fine.
But when I lived in San Francisco, I would go into downtown, and I mean, it's very similar. Sorry, guys. It's very similar up there, but the thing is they're not like tented there. Like SF doesn't allow tents in downtown.
Yeah,
Oh, really?
True. Yeah,
Mhm.
because it became too much of a thing.
Because
Oh, okay.
I mean, there's not like SF's like a city, like it's a California, New York, whereas like LA is
It's more spread out.
spread out.
Yeah.
You know, like streets are very big, sidewalks are.
San Francisco is seriously the miniature version of New York and California.
I think so.
It's really the
Yeah,
best way
it's
to
the closest
describe it.
thing we have
Yeah,
for
it
sure.
is.
Very metropolitan.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great place. If you haven't visited, you definitely should.
Never been to San Francisco.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
it's
shit,
amazing,
Dom.
dude.
Fuck,
It's
dude.
amazing.
Dude, I would love to road trip there
Yeah.
with you one day. That's
I
so
love
much
how we're
fun.
just talking about the homeless people to start it off.
Yeah, it's
but
fun.
it's still a great
that's
place,
How, that's
even
how
with
these
the
things
homeless
progress,
people.
man.
You
That's
know?
great. You guys ever been to Chicago?
No,
They don't have any homeless people out there. I went during the winter.
What?
They must do something.
They
There's
must.
no way.
They must be hiding them somewhere.
No, this story starts
Or
way
the
back
winter.
in
The
like
winter just takes them out.
this story starts
That's
way
terrible.
back
Oh,
in
no.
9th grade. I'm playing Call of Duty, and I was playing with this one kid. He was from Chicago, and somehow we started talking about homeless people. Like we played every day.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, "Yeah, man, we just don't have homeless people during the winter." And I was like, "What do
Yeah.
you mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's Riverside, Los Angeles. During the winter, it's 65, 70 degrees.
Yeah, yeah.
So like, it's still very comfortable to live."
It's nice.
He's like, "Yeah, man, the people who don't choose the shelters, they just freeze." And I was like,
Whoa.
I was just dead quiet.
Yeah.
And then I went to Chicago during the winter to see my brother graduate from the Navy, and I was like, this man wasn't lying. Like, it was horrible that I just snickered at that, but like, I was just like, that man was not
dude.
lying.
No, I mean,
Come on, Ryan.
I'm sorry.
It's coming back. It comes back in and out. It drops on you when it feels
well,
like it.
at least I know it's my mic now because I changed the
whole
input right there.
Yeah,
so,
change the whole.
anyways, where's Chicago on the map? Can you guys point to it?
Okay, we gotta find Illinois.
Illinois, Chicago.
It's that little little small little dot in the top right of Illinois. You see it?
So it's like right on the border between Indiana and Chicago. Or I said Chicago,
But-
Illinois.
Oh yeah, I do see it.
And it's also
on the Great Lake. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's right by
Yeah,
Lake
yeah,
Michigan. Yeah.
It is such a phenomenal city to go visit.
Really.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a big pizza guy, so the pizza's really good.
I have some friends that live there, so
Does the deep dish take as long to make as it does here in California?
The deep dish there, we sat down and they were like, oh, it's going to be like 30, 40 minutes.
Yeah.
We're like, all right, for sure. Like, an hour and a half went by, and I was like, where's my
Oh
pizza?
my god.
I was like, where's my
Damn.
pizza? And then it came out like 2 seconds later after I'd asked.
Yeah.
And then,
probably
no,
just terrible service.
it was Gino. Is it Gino's East? Gino's East, which is like one of the most popular ones there. So it's always busy. So it makes sense.
Yeah, it's taking a while.
Do we have Zachary's pizza down here?
We got Pizza Hut.
Dude, I never heard
That
of
is deep
Zachary's.
dish.
Zachary's.
Zachary's pizza is I mean, I went to
Where'd you go?
it's an East Bay thing, I think.
Oh, okay.
There's one in Oakland, there's one in Emeryville.
Mm.
Such good pizza. I mean, it's the deep dish where they put all the toppings kind of like under their tomato sauce on top.
As the deep dish.
I mean, that's every deep dish, Ryan.
Okay, well, I'm from California.
I
so
know.
don't what deep dish is.
I'm sorry to be that guy, but like that is every deep dish.
But they had like the thickest tomato sauce on top.
Oh.
I mean, chunks of tomato.
chunks of
Yeah,
tomatoes.
right,
Yeah.
Oh, so
Yeah.
good.
You gotta have the chunky. Oh yeah, dude.
and
deep
and
dish
what's
is
crazy
fire.
was the crust, the dough was like firm, so you'd pick this up and it wouldn't just flop
Oh,
over.
no.
You know,
It held its weight.
That's an impressive. Okay, well that is
like
an impressive
I
trait.
could pick it up and
Yeah.
eat it, and it was weighing my hand down. You
That's a
know,
good pot.
So you felt like okay, because a lot of deep dishes
Zachary's Pizza, shout out.
you kind of have to have the fork and knife.
Mhm.
You know, so
That's
not,
how we did it in Chicago, was the fork and knife.
not
Oh,
ev-
right. So Zachary is not even official.
not everybody is making it as sturdy as Zachary's is to where you can pick it up with your hand and feel like you can casually eat it like a slice of pizza.
Yeah,
You know,
it was impressive.
which is why a lot of people who are snobs about pizza consider deep dish. You know, is it even pizza or is it?
No, it's not.
Is
No,
it
I'm just kidding.
is it casserole with cheese? You know what I'm
Is
saying?
it American pizza? Because you know in Europe
Yeah,
they eat pizza with a fork and knife.
I've heard that. I have.
I've never been to Europe. even though my ancestors.
You know what?
from
I'll
there
be
have
honest.
been.
The best pizza I've ever had
Thick
was in
pizza?
Germany. So
Really?
they're doing
pizza
something
there
right in
is
Europe.
really thin. I mean, I'm sure they have thicker pieces of
And
pizza.
it's more square-like, correct? Or is that the Sicilian style?
Probably in Italy because they make the dough fresh.
Oh, okay.
And it's really hard to get a circle, maybe. I don't know what I'm talking about, really, but
Yeah, I mean, we're not pizza experts here. You know.
all I know is that it's really thin. Like,
Oh,
the
okay.
layer's really thin. That's what's really popular there.
Mm-hmm. I want to go to New York so bad.
Have you ever been?
Never been. But I want to
man,
go
you
to
gotta
like. If I went to New York, I would just be eating pizza for like breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
you know,
What, the
Dom?
worst thing about New York? $1
neat.
pizza. Seriously.
I was
yeah,
gonna
dude,
say.
$1 per slice. It's ridiculous. You know what I like the sound of? I like the sound of, us doing some trips together, and San Francisco and New York being the two main trips, because I would love to go to both places for vacation. And if you haven't been there, they're the two American cities I think are key. I mean, you already got Chicago.
Already
so
got
that's-
Chicago out the way.
There are a lot of major ones out there, and New York and San Francisco are two you got to hit.
I've been to Vegas.
There we go,
I
there's
wasn't 21, so it doesn't really count as going to
you
Vegas.
You got to do Vegas in 21.
That was actually a pretty funny story. So we went to visit. Sketchiest thing. We went to visit a kid that we've been playing Xbox with for like 5 years.
Oh damn! You went to go visit a fellow gamer.
Yeah, it was one of those like feel good stories, you know.
Yeah.
We got to the hotel in Vegas, and it wasn't a Best Western, but it was something like that. Not even like a MGM,
Like
one
a
of
Motel
those,
6 kind of
a
thing.
Motel 6 almost. And they were like, "Oh, you have to be 21 to check in," and we're like freshly 18.
man.
Oh, that
and
sucks.
and we were like, we're literally here for one day.
yeah.
And they were like, all right, well, we'll make this exception one time, but like tomorrow morning you got to be out of here. And we're like, all right,
What?
whatever.
What?
So
Damn.
So you went there for a day.
just a day, like a nice little 3-hour road trip.
And you did end up linking up with your fellow Xbox player.
We did.
right?
We
Okay.
did. We went to the
Sick.
mall that has the shoe game where you could win like the $10,000
Okay.
Jordans.
Oh shit!
Never heard of it.
Apparently, this one kid, he was just standing outside of the store. He was banned from playing the game because he was like their number one winner. Like he
Wow.
figured out how to win the machine, and it's all like a ratio. Like we'll say out of 300 people, there's one chance you'll win the shoes or whatever. So he would stand out there and just wait. And he'd be like, oh, okay, this is like number 296.
He had a counter.
Yeah, pretty much. And I was like, damn, what's that kid out there for? And then one of the employees like, he's banned from playing that machine. He won too many times.
God.
It was also the hottest I had ever been. It was 126 in Vegas.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Now, does it get humid out there? No, right? It's dry.
I want to say that's just strictly dry heat.
yeah.
I
There's
can.
no
I'm
moisture.
gonna second that
I can't imagine.
because I think that's the signature of the desert. The
Yeah,
desert
yeah,
heat
yeah.
is that it's a dry heat.
Yeah.
Which, you know what, when you're picking the heats to sit through, I feel like I would rather do like a high hundreds dry heat
100%.
compared to like a high 90s humid heat in like a place
sure.
like New Orleans
For sure.
or Georgia or something
For
like
sure.
that, you know?
2 weeks ago at work, it was like 75, 76 in the morning. It was probably like 7, 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
It was 65% humidity, and I
Oh,
thought I was gonna die. And I was like, I don't know how people do this in Florida. Like, how do you just step out and sweat?
You're
You're like,
just
I
sticky.
think my lungs
Yeah.
collapsing.
Yeah, yeah.
You're like, I can't breathe.
Yeah, it's just like, or
No, it's the worst.
I feel like my shirt is going to be glued to me for the entire day.
I'm taking off the hat, wiping the brow every 3
Yeah, yeah,
seconds.
yeah.
Sweat's just dripping in the eyes. You're like, dude, come on, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, we have it nice. I mean, we have bad weather here for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not. I mean, California is great for sure. Like, I'd rather be in constant heat than constant cold or something like that.
Yeah.
But you do get those days that are brutal. But I'm just glad that humidity is not a part of it. Because when I was in Hawaii, they didn't have an AC unit in the room that I was in, and basically, even if they turned the AC on, it was like in the Frank's house. Think about the AC being like way
the
in the
unit
living
over
room,
there.
kind of,
Mhm.
and it's kind of like a window unit, so it's not very powerful. Anyways, even if I opened the door, it wasn't helping, you know. So I would literally be in there till like 3 p.m. just sweating. I mean, just sweating like nobody's business. And fun fact, I have like bad sweating in my armpits, like hyperhidrosis.
It's a thing, people. Look it up.
Yeah,
come
okay.
on, don't roast.
Yeah, nobody make fun of me, all right? Anyways, I mean, I've never been in such like sticky heat before,
Mm-hmm.
and every day I would just be in there like going at it, and I started showering basically after work because it was so sticky, so hot, and I wasn't even doing anything. I was
Just type it.
And that,
or I would record a podcast.
yeah, that was the trend. Every time we would record when he was in Hawaii, is that we would know the episode was coming to a close because Ryan would be he'd be uncontrollably sweaty, and it would
It's
every
fine, don't
episode
worry.
would get to a point where like, you can only get so much from the webcam.
Yeah.
And by the end of the episode, I could actually see Ryan, basically just giving off heat. I was like, all right, we're getting too deep into this thing.
I forgot. I was going to take a shower over here, but I got a check in the mail from the government. They were like, here's $328 for a tax refund. And I was like, I already got my tax refund.
What?
So I went to the bank. Yeah, it was the weirdest thing.
Whoa.
And it wasn't the California stimulus because that's $600.
Yeah, true.
And I was going to take a shower because my forearms, I don't know if the camera, look, I got sunburnt today at work.
Oh,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
did.
I got, and these are not bruises. These are, when you're working with pipe or PVC, there's a thing called primer, and it's this blue solvent that it basically just cleans up the pipe and gets it ready for the glue.
Okay.
And the repair that I had was probably in a little planter box. It was like 2.5 feet wide. And I had to hand dig a hole. I hand dug this hole for 4 hours because there was no room for a shovel. Like pipe was going every which way. There was roots everywhere. But yeah, I wanted to get home and take I wanted to take a shower to cool off, but now I'm just sitting here. I mean, our viewers are probably gonna be like, "Why is this guy so red on the face?" I just got sunburned today, people. It is what it is.
He's working out in the sun. Okay, we can't.
It's a real man.
Yeah.
All right.
My coworkers. So I'm the only white guy that's at my work, and they pinche güero. That's what they call me, fucking white boy. You know.
Oh yeah.
And they're like, every time I come in the afternoon, they're like, "You look like a tomato," and I'm like, "Come on, that's so mean."
Yeah, I used to play soccer, and there was at a point, I think maybe 6 or 7 months, where I was like the only white guy on the team. And I mean, maybe longer than that, but it was always like two people. And yeah, that's one of the main reasons why I wanted to learn Spanish.
It was pretty fun, to be honest.
To know what they're saying about you, or just to know what they're saying in general.
Or it's just such a useful skill.
It is a useful skill. That, yeah, because
to be bilingual.
Every restaurant I've ever worked at,
we're so spoiled.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, but every restaurant I've ever worked at, there's always been at least, I'd say a handful of scenarios where someone comes in and they only speak Spanish, and we immediately need to know, like, we need to have someone on staff who can speak Spanish.
Yeah.
And every time I've worked at, different restaurants, we've always had that person. And I've always felt like, man, like that's, like I realize like you have something on your resume that puts you above me in terms of,
useful.
this job, because like that, you need it in a way.
It's so useful. And you know what? Learning a language is not easy.
No.
It's not.
And really, when you're breaking down languages in terms of which ones are just sound so smooth and sexy, like
Spanish
and
nice
French,
language.
Spanish, French, Italian,
Latin origin
Portuguese,
languages.
yeah, Latin origin languages all sound smooth as butter.
Yeah.
It's
true.
It rolls. Their language just rolls.
They
and
roll,
everything.
and they're the languages of love. A lot of people say, which I I see, because I feel like amor, like you can put more in that word than you can love. Like love, because love has an e on the end. It kind of has a cutoff. Like you got it. Amor. You can put more on the end of that. Oh man, yeah.
You can emphasize.
You can emphasize it way better.
Yes,
Exactly.
I agree.
Speaking of languages, did anybody see Black Widow?
No.
Okay, well,
Not a Marvel guy.
yeah.
Let's go DC.
You're not at all.
I wanted to get into this with you, Dom,
Okay,
because
yeah,
I know you watch. You have good taste in television and entertainment.
Yes, I do.
You do. And I'm curious to see, have you seen
know.
any of the recent Disney Plus series?
So I did watch WandaVision.
Okay.
Nice.
I was a
Nice.
fan.
You were a fan?
I was
Okay.
a fan of WandaVision.
Okay.
That was a great TV show.
I like this. I like the shows because the way they put them out, like one episode
One at a
week,
time?
Dude,
Yeah.
I get the itch. I'm like, just like, I
Yeah.
need the episode.
Yeah.
It ended. And the WandaVision was really good. I want to watch Loki. But
I like this one. I like that you think the WandaVision was good because to me, it's only gotten better. Because I loved WandaVision, and I think they're continuously improving.
Yeah.
And I think Loki...
Really?
I think Loki has been the best so far. And I say that coming from the fact of I like where it, put the current universe in,
You know which movie I did watch? I think it was like a month ago.
Yeah.
Thor Ragnarok.
Okay.
That's a good one.
That's a good
That was
one.
the first time I'd watched it. It was pretty good.
Really good.
Now, have
right?
you seen the first two?
I've only seen the first Thor.
Okay.
The first one. Okay.
Yeah. So I've seen all the Iron Man movies.
Yeah.
Just the Iron Man movies.
Uh-huh.
I've seen, I think, the first two Avengers. Dude, you go on Twitter. That's the thing. Like, everyone just spoils it for you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So like,
It's the
I
worst.
knew
Big time.
you
knew what happened in Endgame.
I knew what happened in
Oh,
Endgame.
that sucks.
That's tough.
What was the last Avengers that came out? That was
Endgame.
Endgame.
oh that, was
Endgame.
what was
yeah.
the one before that?
Infinity War.
Infinity
You
War.
knew what happened in that one too.
I knew what happened with that one.
See, that's and
I don't know.
can't-
I think I got spoiled on that one too.
You know what's funny?
Because people were just like, everyone dies.
The
And
world-
You'd be like, oh,
Yeah.
oh, thanks.
What
and
the-
everyone does.
That's
pretty
what's
much.
tough. The world we live in right now, you have to pick a lane to be in.
You got to be careful.
Because I only wasn't spoiled on those two movies you said you were spoiled on because I saw them opening night.
Oh, okay.
And the only reason why I saw them opening night is because I was well aware of the fact that as soon as they come out anywhere, social media immediately becomes filled with the spoilers.
Yeah, it's gonna ruin it.
Like a perfect example is I'm driving to see Endgame on opening night. I'm driving to see it, and I make the mistake of going on social media, and I click on a post.
You don't, dude.
I make this mistake. Listen, let me tell you what I spoiled for myself though.
I think I know the person that spoiled it for you.
No, it wasn't anybody specific.
Okay.
but
I know
it was
someone
more
that
of like
spoiled Endgame for
it was
someone.
it was more of just like a fact of okay, well this is the world we live in now because I click on a post that has to do with sports. It's an ESPN.
Oh, they didn't.
It's
That's
an ESPN
dirty.
highlight. It's an ESPN highlight, and I click the comments because it's an impressive highlight, and I want to see what people say.
Yeah.
And the first fucking highlight literally just says Avengers Endgame : and then the first word is time travel, and I immediately close out of the app. And I'm just like,
That's
God,
dirty,
I
bro.
was, and I'm literally, I'm 10 minutes away from the theater, and I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? And at that moment, I
But
realized
you knew at that point.
I did. I mean, I
That's
kind of
fucked.
knew time travel.
knew
was
ahead of time
I knew
time-
time
it
travel
had to
was
be
the
time
only
travel.
way to fix things,
Yeah.
but it did get confirmed before stepping into the theater.
Yeah.
And that was the moment I realized, okay, whenever it comes to these, big blockbuster superhero shit, you have to watch it as soon as you can before going on any social media.
Yeah, I've just become numb to spoilers in general. Like, if I
Really,
don't
though?
watch a TV show, I'm ready for it, And I'm ready to watch it
even
year
if
later,
even if
2
you've
years
read
later.
even if you've read the plot twist or something like that, you feel like you can read the plot twist and then go away like mentally for 3 months and then just come back to it and forget you ever read the plot twist.
Well, here's the thing: is I try and keep up to date.
Okay.
Like, especially with like something like Marvel,
Yeah.
like, they're constantly coming out with things, and one thing literally leads to the other. So if like you're gonna jump onto, for instance, the new Doctor Strange movie coming out.
Is there a new one coming out?
Yeah, it's
I
called-
did watch that one. That one was pretty. The first Doctor Strange.
You've watched the
That
first
was a
Doctor
That
great
was
Strange
movie.
good. That was
Yeah.
good.
So if you want to watch that, like you have to know what the heck happened in these, I don't
Previous
know,
movies.
previous movie TV shows now.
So many of them.
So I'm okay with spoilers, honestly.
Yeah.
If I commit myself, if I'm not watching it within the first, month or so it comes out, I'm ready for a spoiler.
Okay.
I'm ready to go.
That's a good positive attitude to have.
Because I've been
Just the way
spoiled on a lot
the
of
way
things.
things are.
A lot of things.
That's how I felt about the new Star Wars trilogy.
Oh,
I saw Force Awakens opening night, and I was like, okay, it's good movie. It's a good movie, but
It's a good movie.
But I've seen it before.
it's New Hope.
Yeah, it's New Hope.
It's
It
New Hope.
is New Hope. It really is.
And then
It
I was
really
like,
is.
okay, they better change it up with The Last Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
And then Last Jedi was severely disappointing.
Which one? Which one had the?
Yeah, severely, right?
Which one?
Yeah, severely.
I'm
agree with
bad
you.
with the word. No, I'm bad with
No,
words. That's why
the-
I was like,
that
is
was
that
correct.
the
way
that
to
was the right term?
describe the way to describe Last Jedi is severely disappointing.
Severely disappointing.
Because after watching it, I remember the feeling in the theater of being like, okay, so we have one more movie in this trilogy, and you guys are screwed.
And
and
and how are you going to correct everything you did wrong?
exactly.
And then
Yeah.
I love Star Wars. I'm probably one of the biggest Star Wars nerds out there. But when it came to watching episode 9, I was
Yeah.
like, I'm not going to do it. I've watched it once, and it was within the last 3 months.
Okay.
And
So you did miss the theatrical run.
oh yeah,
Okay,
100%.
okay.
I had no interest in seeing that. They could play Phantom Menace in theater. Like, I would go watch Phantom Menace.
Over watching the ninth one.
Oh,
when it was out.
100%.
Yeah, okay.
I will say Phantom Menace is pretty good, though. If you,
I think it might be
Dude, that's the thing about the old trilogy is, I mean, Attack of the Clones is bad in terms of acting.
That's the worst one.
Yeah, it's definitely the
out
worst
of
one.
The 6
Yeah, I think that's
good
but
movies.
if you can just, like, if you were really a nerd and you could just nerd out and just watch it, like kind of just follow the story.
yeah,
you're
just like with a smile on your
exactly.
face.
You're like, this is cool.
Star
You
Wars,
know?
let's go.
Or if you grew up with it, like we did, because we were in the perfect age. Like
We were that new trilogy.
we were kids. We were little
or
kids when
prequel
the new trilogy was coming out.
Yeah,
and
prequel trilogy. Our
we
parents
were-
like watch these old ones. Watch these old ones.
And then by the time the Disney ones came out,
Yeah.
in, 2015 and beyond, we were at that point already snarky teenagers. So we were kind of.
Are they hitting the? Like when I was a kid and I watched those films, I was like, this is freaking awesome. Are they hitting that
with the
these
little
new
kids
ones?
now? I don't know.
Are these little
know.
kids going back and watching the previous 6
like are the
to get to
are-
know what's happening?
Are the
I
new
don't
Disney
think so.
movies
I
making
don't
them
know.
want to do that? I don't
I'm
think
not
they
getting
are.
that vibe, but
I'm not either.
I don't really know.
Well,
kids
see,
like
the
that.
thing is,
Yeah,
if
yeah.
you guys haven't seen the new Star, I'm talking to the viewers.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
If
absolutely.
you guys haven't seen the new Star Wars trilogy, I mean, you guys, it's your fault. But they kill every old character.
Spoiler.
They do.
Spoiler. Sorry,
You're
they
good,
kill
you're good.
every original character other than Chewbacca and the 2 droids. But do they really count? Yeah, I mean, they do in the other 6 movies, but
well,
in the new
Luke.
ones they don't.
Oh, but then he does.
Luke dies in the end of the Last Jedi.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
force.
He descends
He
something.
What is that
Oh my
called?
God! I mean, I don't
Projection. He
Force
projects.
projection.
Force projection. Yes.
Thank you.
I don't even care what it's called because, like, how lame of a way to kill off a character and
the
making them
dumbest
thing.
fight a
Yeah.
lightsaber battle that isn't even real.
I get the Han Solo thing, but like
Oh, I get the Han Solo thing.
that got ruined for me.
Oh,
Really?
You found out about that
going
spoiler?
to the theater.
Oh,
Thanks, East
God.
Coast people. You guys.
Oh
suck.
yeah, the East
Yeah.
Coast fuckers.
They're the worst.
God damn.
Come on, have some
Immediate-
respect for the timeline.
Dude,
all
That's
right?
that's what was so funny about when The Force Awakens came out. It's like every social media post, the top comment was Han Solo dies.
Yeah. And I was just
Every
you
like
mother.
it didn't matter if it was
People-
about Kylie Jenner's makeup line. The top comment was Han Solo dies.
People get off to this stuff,
They
man.
do, dude.
They just want to ruin
They
someone.
love ruining
They
it.
love it, dude.
Oh my god.
Internet trolls, man.
Internet trolls,
But
big time.
I would say Disney did it right with 2 movies, Rogue One and the Han Solo movie.
Dude, I agree with you.
Oh yeah.
Rogue One
yeah.
Rogue
is
was great.
Rogue One is my favorite Star Wars movie because it's like taking an actual war movie and then mixing it with Star Wars, and you're like, wow, you actually care about these characters. Like the new ones, I didn't care. Like
Yeah.
it wasn't interesting enough.
Which one? I'm not the best with these Star Wars movies. Which one? My coworker, he's super into it, and he was telling me, he's like, I was really upset with one of them because one of the main storylines with, is it Finn?
Yeah, Finn.
Finn and the other
Finn and Rose.
pilot, Rose.
Yeah, right.
They went on
That's Last Jedi.
fetch quest. That was his thing. Like,
Dude, that is the
half
most,
of the movie
yeah.
was the fetch quest, and I was like,
Dude, that's the most
I don't know what
hated.
to tell you, man.
Dude, it was horrible.
I'm glad you bring that up because that is the pretty much the storyline of the Disney new trilogy of Star Wars movies that everybody shits on.
All fetch quests.
Just talking about the side quest of Rose and
Yeah,
Finn
yeah.
going off to find Benicio del Toro's character, who really
Yeah.
means basically nothing for
That
the
was-
overall story.
That wasn't Benicio del Toro.
Yeah, they find Benicio. Remember,
that wasn't Benicio del Toro.
dude. They run into Justin Theroux, and Justin Theroux is like a fake out, and then Justin
okay.
Theroux leads them to Benicio del Toro, who's like in a prison cell and like just chilling, and they're like, "Oh, you're the guy we
Okay.
need." And then
That's what it is. Justin Theroux. Okay, sorry.
Yeah,
I was
Justin
like,
Theroux's
I was
the
like,
fake
they,
out.
They look similar, but
yeah.
I was like, that wasn't. Sorry,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
where I get mixed up.
But no, I'm glad your friend and you bring that up right now because
Yeah.
that is universally when people are putting the biggest middle finger on the Disney trilogy. It's that unnecessary side quest that almost feels like it's from a completely different movie.
Yeah, and there was also this weird point where they had, I mean, I'm all for it, the whole like animal cruelty thing,
Oh.
but I remember specifically
That's what makes it such a weird
that
storyline.
moment. They're
Yeah.
on like this
Animal cruelty.
Yeah.
there's this weird they're on like this balcony and they're looking down at these like things running around.
Yeah, they're all being like electrically prodded and stuff.
And I'm like,
yeah.
I'm watching the movie, and this is before I was like online, watching the reviews of the
Yeah.
YouTubers and stuff. And
This
I'm
is
like,
fresh thoughts.
like this is Star Wars, like, I mean, I'm all for it. Animal cruelty is bad, but like, what are we
Star Wars.
doing? You know,
They're just trying to make him look more of a bad guy.
I just don't get it. You know?
Yeah, it's
Star Wars.
It's the difference between watching a
Like,
movie.
why do that in this movie?
Because
like,
we
there's
live-
plenty of moments in previous Star Wars where animal cruelty is like rampant. You know?
You know what sucks, Ryan? We live in an era now where the big studio movies have to have like some sort of like morally good,
They gotta have
be
the
a good
message.
person message. You
yeah,
know,
for
it's
sure.
like
And again, I'm for it. I'm all for it. I don't want to
Yeah.
sound like a jackass here,
I know,
but
no, you don't
just
want to
be
sound
a
like a
good
jackass.
Like,
but,
just be a good person.
Right.
You don't have to shove it in my face. Just be a good
but
person.
see, the bummer about these things is they're usually studio notes. They're often not the vision
okay.
of a director who has an idea to
They're kinda
tell a
forced to
story.
do that.
They're forcing it
Yeah.
down. Like you take.
there has to be a moment in this film
yeah.
where this happens
Exactly.
right here. Yeah,
like
yeah,
Avengers.
I
I'm
get
pretty
that.
sure it's Avengers: Age of Ultron, the second Avengers movie. They added in. No. I take that back. Iron Man 3. Iron Man 3 was the first Marvel movie to make $1 billion, and the version,
Arguably the worst movie, but go
the
ahead.
version they released in China of Iron Man 3, the version they released of Iron Man 3, they had multiple scenes added of Chinese doctors discussing how to remove the arc reactor from Tony Stark's heart.
Yeah, to make more money in China.
Exactly. So
Did they really?
Yeah, really.
Same
So-
with Rogue One. That's why Chirrut Emway. I don't know the actors' names, but Chirrut Emway, and then
Yep.
what's the other guy? The big guy. He
I
has like the canon, but that's why Disney
Yeah.
added them. They weren't even in the script, and then Disney added them, and they were like, "We're gonna make more money," and they did. So good for them. They made their bucks.
It's crazy how Hollywood needs to tiptoe around China. Like you see it with this NBA thing that happened.
Yeah,
you know?
and you also see it with John Cena.
they're just such a huge market.
John Cena was promoting Fast and Furious 9,
Yeah,
and he
Best
made
movie
he
ever.
made he made. Actually, I want to get Dom's thoughts here to because I'm curious about that. But Fast and Furious 9,
Can I go grab another one? Real quick?
Yeah,
yeah.
do it.
Here, I'll get you.
Oh, okay, thank
John Cena was mentioning the fact that he really wanted the movie to be successful in an area of. He was talking about an area of China.
Let me get the tangerine.
He referred to it as a country. I'm good right now. He referred to this section of China that he knew was going to be popular for the movie and buy a lot of tickets. He referred to them as a country, and that started this whole controversy to where.
Taiwan.
Isn't Taiwan?
I think it was
a
Taiwan. Yeah.
country?
Well, no, they're not because they're in the
Well,
Chinese government, so you can't use the
no.
word country.
That's the whole thing is China. So this was like the whole civil war in China back in the day. Was the Republic of China, which was backed by like all the democracies, is now Taiwan. So basically, they lost the war, fled to Taiwan.
Oh.
China didn't push any further. Basically, gave them that island because it's kind of off the coast of China, and they both lay claim to each other's land. So Taiwan thinks that China is Taiwan, and China thinks that Taiwan is China.
So
Carry on.
John Cena had to pretty much do an apology video where he was speaking Chinese.
You're speaking Mandarin, right?
Yeah, speaking Mandarin, exactly. Speaking Mandarin and apologizing for, using the wrong word to describe said area.
Like
And
it's a big deal to them.
so it was just
a
it was
big deal.
kind of a weird, a weird signal that Hollywood is in the state they are right now to see John Cena speaking Mandarin so seriously into
yeah.
like the FaceTime camera, and I was like, whoa, this is strange. But I do want to
John
ask you,
Cena.
Dom. You saw Fast 9, the Fast Saga. Did
Yeah.
you see it? Okay.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
Is this the new one that came out?
Yeah,
Yeah,
dude.
haven't seen it.
Spoiler heavy, all you want. Tell us
Spoilers?
everything. Yeah, spoilers.
They go to fucking space,
They
man.
go to
Like,
space.
No, they don't.
They were joking about it in the movie. They were like saying like, "Oh, dude, like somehow we've been through all this shit, and somehow we're still alive. Like we must be superheroes." And then they go to
there we
and
go.
then they go
No,
to fucking.
So they do put the finger on the fact that everybody has been saying the franchise is ridiculous for putting them into stunts that feel like any character in a realistic world of a movie should die in.
Dude, the first Fast and Furious is because
They're
Tristan and I
they're
used
race
to watch
movies.
them. They're
Yeah.
car movies.
Yeah, they're car movies.
Like
yeah, all
that's
the
what
way.
makes them great. And then
Fast 5, I think, was when it changed. When they're dragging the safe through Brazil.
yes,
Fast
no, was
Fast 5. That was the first one The Rock came in. That was 2011.
which one was Fast 4?
Fast 4 was called Fast and Furious.
Okay, which one had Gazelle? No,
Oh,
what's her name?
Don't look at me.
Wonder Woman.
some-
God.
oh well,
Gal Gadot.
Gal Gadot.
Gal Gadot.
Thank you,
I
Ryan.
knew-
Yeah,
I
Gal
said
Gadot.
Giselle.
I
Gal
yeah,
Gadot.
Let me just Put it on the record.
You know what?
Okay.
I do think
I thought of Gal Gadot's name before Frank.
you did. Yeah, Ryan's
That's
on the record,
incredible.
but it is. I gotta give Ryan. I should know that. It's freaking Wonder Woman. But
Scott has a major crush on her.
oh, and
that's why.
he does. I mean, everybody
Immediately,
should,
Gal
but-
Gadot, I think Scott.
Yeah, but I think you're right, actually, Dom, because I do think Gal Gadot, she was either first introduced in the fourth one, Fast and Furious, or the fifth one, Fast 5.
Maybe it
But
was
pretty
Fast
much,
6.
I'll say this. The first three, you got the Fast and the Furious, then you got Too Fast, Too Furious, and then you got the Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift.
Tokyo Drift
Now,
was
those,
amazing.
exactly,
Tokyo Drift is fire.
those first three movies, I would consider, these are car racing movies. But pretty much once you get past that, it becomes just an action, anything goes kind of series.
My favorite thing in Tokyo Drift is the main.
The main guy looks like he's 40 and he's in high school.
Yeah, but
The parking lots. The parking lots.
Not the parking lots. There's a scene where like he's on a date with one of the girls, and they're drifting down a mountain, like the road, and she's just like looking at him, like I'm looking at Frank right now.
No, and
she's just like twisting the wheel.
Not
And I'm
looking
like,
at
this
The mountain is like the
phenomenal.
ledge. Like that's like the ultimate track in that movie.
Yeah, it's
that mountain.
it's the drift. It's the drift final race where
Well,
they drift on the mountain.
What's so
yeah.
funny about that is that's where like I think the storyline is like people have died on it, you know,
Yeah, people
And
have died drifting. Yeah,
and it's like she's just
Yeah,
know,
she was
twisting
just
here
looking
and
at
there.
him
Like,
it's
she's like,
nothing.
"Brr,
Yeah.
brr."
It's also very similar to the scene in Too Fast, Too Furious where Paul Walker does his signature move where he's driving with Eva Mendes and he's like, "Oh, I want to see something cool," and he just keeps driving like super
Oh,
fast, and he
yeah.
just looks at her, and
that
he's
is
not
a
like
solid scene.
And
He's
she
not
keeps
looking
at him though,
yeah.
too. Like they don't break
they're
eye
they're just
contact.
holding eye contact, and he's driving like 100 miles down the road. And
Badass, dude.
It's a great,
So badass.
It's a great like, yeah, nobody should try this, right?
And then the rest of the series is a figment of his imagination as he lays in a coma.
Exactly, that's a
Just
good way of putting
staring
it.
at
Yeah, it should have all ended right there.
But I will tell you this. So
Man.
I used to shit on Fast and Furious way back in the day, because at Gage,
Yeah,
all the how do I put it? A lot of kids would say, "Oh, Dom from Fast and Furious." I'm like, no, like I've never seen it. And then
dude,
when-
you know what's crazy?
Oh yeah.
I call you Dom probably half the time I hang out with you, and I've never thought of Vin Diesel's character in Fast and Furious movies.
dude, even I work
Ever.
with this one kid Edgar, and he always says he's like, "Hey, what's up, Dom?" And I'm just like, and he was like,
that is the weirdest thing.
"You ever get that from Fast and Furious?" I was like, "All the time, man. That's why I don't like."
It's natural though. Like
It is.
I have a real like is it repulsion to Ryan Seacrest.
Repulsiveness.
Repulsiveness, whatever.
You're
Like I said,
disgusted by the
I'm
Seacrest.
bad with
It's not
words.
that I'm disgusted by him. I know he's a cool guy.
You're
but
grossed out by the Seacrest.
Like, anytime I see him, I'm just like, I don't know if I like this guy. You know?
Dude,
If I'm breathing into the mic. Sorry to.
No, it's definitely me. You got a pop filter there. So.
Oh, okay.
It's just because people used to call me Ryan Seacrest when I was little. I'm like, I don't know.
man.
It's just like
But
it sticks to you, you know.
I mean, you got to say, like, Dom, think about how long we've been friends, and I've never mentioned the Fast and Furious connection.
Never.
And that just goes to show you how little the
I
franchise
mean-
means to me, even though I can name every movie.
Yeah.
It's a big
Well-
part of my early or my late teens.
Yeah, exactly.
Fast and Furious. I love to use the Transformers reference here. Fast
Oh,
and
yeah,
Furious
yeah.
reminds me of Transformers. It's like
It is just pretty much the same.
it's
Yeah.
literally the same exact franchise. You know exactly what you're gonna get right when you walk in that theater. Lots of explosions, lots of action, guns,
And
you know, whatever.
And not only that,
Terrible storyline.
it feels like every movie gets more and more explosions and more over the top stuff.
It's like it's an exponential
keep
growth.
building
you know,
on
it's
it,
like you
yeah.
got to keep it going.
oh yeah.
And now they're in space.
Did Michael Bay direct Fast and Furious?
I have no idea.
I will tell you what
He might as well have.
I will
He
tell
could
you
do
what
a
he was a
fine job.
producer in was the Purge, the Forever Purge.
Oh, the Forever
Oh,
Purge.
have you
was
guys
a-
seen that?
Dude,
Yeah,
I
Dom saw the Forever
I
Purge.
saw the
Dude, is it
Forever
good?
Purge.
No.
It's good. It's the best movie ever made.
Yeah, that's the way Dom described it. Dom texted me. He said, "Frank, I want you to make a movie someday like the Forever Purge
It's the
because it's
best
the best
movie
movie I've ever seen."
Dude, it's a fun movie because it's the Purge, and I find the Purge franchise pretty interesting. Like,
Yeah.
that dystopian society where like all
It's an
crimes
interesting
legal.
concept.
It is.
Which I hate is that they only focus on the murder aspect. Like, why aren't people doing heists in the Purge? You know,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Oh,
Like,
a heist
That's
Purge
what I'm
movie.
saying.
That'd
Like,
be
go
sick.
rob a bank or something. Walk
Yeah,
away
yeah,
with $2 million
Yeah,
after it.
yeah.
It's all about the
And
vendetta,
you
the
could
revenge,
oh,
you know?
man, dude, that's fuck, Dom, we're writing the next purge right now.
Let's
Then
go.
The next purge can easily be people doing a crime that isn't murder, like any other crime. Think of any other crime that pays off big, and then you mix it in with like murdering characters, because you're trying to make money in a scenario where nothing is against the law. So not only are you dealing with stealing the money, but you're also dealing with these people trying to murder you for fun.
So what happens in the Forever Purge? Is it just like literally? I mean, I've seen maybe the trailer.
Does it start with the countdown ending and then they're like, okay, it's not over?
No.
Here's my idea about the Forever Purge. I've watched one trailer, I think, and I'm like, I want to watch it. Here's my idea about the storyline. Basically, the purge goes too far and everything. So like governments fall.
Did you watch
idea.
Purge Election Year?
No.
Okay, so Purge Election Year.
I've seen the first one.
The first one.
Shouts out Ethan Hawke.
Ethan Hawke, great in that movie.
He is.
So Purge Election Year. Spoilers, everyone. Purge Election Year is about a.
You don't have to give a spoiler alert for Purge.
Okay. If you haven't seen it by now, it's just a murder. It's a murder porn movie. To be honest,
I mean the spoiler is in the trailer, I think. Like, no rules.
So it's a Purge Election Year is about a politician who wants to abolish the purge because
that blonde lady with the glasses.
Yes,
right?
because her family.
Yeah, let's wrap it up on the purge.
Okay,
cool.
For timing.
Her family was killed in the purge, and now like she was the only survivor, and she was like, okay, well, I want to end it. So basically, throughout the whole movie, like people are trying to kill her because like she wants to end the purge.
She's become this like public figure.
The Forever Purge picks up 10 years after Purge Election Year, and the new founding fathers, which is the group that created the purge, they're back in power, and then it starts off with the first purge again, or the first purge in 10 years.
So they're reinstating it in a way.
Yeah. Okay. And then it's like basically QAnon people that just take the purge way too far and destroy the country.
It's kind of like hey, joke's on you. We're not only starting this, but we're making it forever.
Yeah, like we're still going.
Okay.
Like we don't care what sirens go off. We're still going. Nice. It's a fun movie to watch. But
there's some parallels. There's some parallels to society today, right?
yeah, there are.
Some of the dialogue is funny. Like we were talking about earlier, some of the stuff they put is just so in your face.
Yeah. It's like, I have to learn this lesson from that.
Yeah.
And
you're like, I already kind of knew that.
Yeah, you're like, oh, thanks for slapping me over the head with it, you know?
Let me talk about the Tomorrow War. Hopefully we can grit this in.
Oh yeah,
did you guys see the Tomorrow War?
I watched the Tomorrow War. The Chris Pratt alien one on Amazon.
I haven't seen it, but it looks pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm surprised at how good it was. I was not expecting that good of a movie. Now, it's not phenomenal by any means, and there's you can laugh at the storyline like we're laughing at The Purge. It's a funny storyline, but I was actually really surprised. Like, I really enjoyed my time, and man, I don't want to give spoilers because you're here, and I do think you should watch it.
Okay,
but kind of has similar vibe to The Purge, or the vibe that we're talking about. I think.
Yeah. Where a lot of the things they're talking about, they're just in your face.
Some of the story points feel like you're getting bashed over the head with a lesson.
It's kind of like it's kind of like you're in the movie for like 10 minutes or so, and then all of a sudden it's like boom, like get with the program. Yeah, and like they just it's like a rocket launching. Like you better be with this or not.
I will give it a lot of credit. What I will say about the Tomorrow War is I read some reviews and watched some reviews before I watched it myself, and I was expecting a bad movie going in, and it's so cool because I got exactly that, but I was still entertained to the fullest.
It's a good bad movie.
It's a good bad movie.
It's a good.
Yeah,
I have nothing wrong with good bad movies.
It's a great movie with a lower than par storyline.
I recommend watching it with somebody else because then you can kind of laugh at it with them, but also have a good time.
Here's what I'll say is amazing. I think the CGI was actually
it was pretty good.
The effects were good. The
really
monsters
impressive.
The monsters were well done. The monsters' introduction was well done.
Everything looked.
They had a creepy look
realistic.
To them.
Yeah,
as real as you can get.
Yeah, exactly. When you build an alien, it's like come on, but. It looked realistic. I didn't see anything that I was like, that was totally fake. You know?
Also, the whole movie was an advertisement for my car, the Bolt EV, because Chris Pratt's
no,
character.
It wasn't.
Oh, Ryan didn't notice it.
What?
Ryan was so in deep into Chris Pratt's eyes that he didn't notice. He didn't notice the fact that Chris Pratt was driving a Chevy Bolt the entire movie.
It wasn't Chris. It was Yvonne, bro. Yvonne Strahovski. That's
no. But trust me.
But following right.
You didn't notice the Bolt. Yeah, you didn't notice the Bolt commercial. Okay, it's okay. Sam,
God,
I
I'm
watched
so
it with
sorry.
Sam, and we were laughing the entire
What's so
time about
funny
like,
is
hey, that's our car.
I'm thinking about buying a Bolt EUV,
Exactly.
which is hilarious.
They were selling the shit out of that.
What's the
thing, dude.
MPG on those things?
well, it's
all
It's
electric.
all
It's
electric.
all
It's
electric.
MPGE.
Yeah.
And honestly, I have no fucking clue.
I can get
But-
about 200. Dude, you know what's here? I'll give you a good scenario.
Yeah.
So, going to San Diego last weekend. We'll close on this. We'll close on the efficiency of the Bolt here.
Yeah.
So I'm leaving my house with 192 miles of battery, and I have to go 95 miles to get to my buddy Jacob's
about
apartment
100 miles.
In San Diego.
in San Diego. And what I do to save battery, so I don't have to drive once I get to San Diego, I set the cruise control to 65,
Okay.
and I turn off the AC.
Yeah, good bet. Good bet.
And I went from 192 to 145, and I drove 95 miles.
That is incredible.
So now the next morning when I'm leaving San Diego to drive back to Redondo and I have to go 105 miles,
Yeah.
I have now set up 145 of cushion to make it to there. So it's pretty
bad.
much if you drive safely, like if you literally drive the speed limit with no AC,
The AC.
you can fucking double your miles that you're using. You know,
Well-
like you can go 90 miles and spend 45 miles of battery. It's really impressive. But at the same time, you want to bump AC and you want to ride 80 the whole way, you're going to be needing to charge when you get to your destination.
Yeah, I usually go about 80. On the
Exactly.
freeway.
So it's
I go
really
about,
like
yeah, exactly.
So-
I go about 80 and I'm bumping that AC
what,
right now, dude.
It's like, what kind of drive do you want to have? Do you want to have an uncomfortable one where you're saving energy, or do you want to have a comfortable one where you have to figure out a place to charge?
But you remember my old car. Sorry to interrupt.
No, you're
you
good.
remember my old car when I
Yeah.
drove the shitty Ford.
Yeah, the shitty red Ford.
No airbags, no AC, no
There,
heater,
you had airbags.
no airbags. I swear to God.
Ryan, this car didn't have airbags.
This
Ryan.
car didn't
How
have-
is it was illegal then, right?
Oh,
There's
yeah.
no.
Hey,
You didn't have insurance on that car, did
are
you?
we
Oh yeah, I did.
are we pointing fingers right now, Ryan? Come on
No,
now.
never.
No, just
Yeah, so I bought the car for my brother for $850.
Okay.
there we
Because he had crashed it, and I was just like, well, I mean, he already got it somewhat fixed, and I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I'm not paying for the airbags.
Exactly.
I was driving 5 minutes from my house to work and back every day.
and it's okay because here we are
I'm
right
Victoria,
now,
probably, right?
Yeah, Victoria.
sitting safely here talking.
Yeah,
We're good.
And now my new car's got airbags, AC, so I just bump the AC
Money.
every day.
Yeah, I mean, it's so hot right now that you literally
Have to have AC.
unless you're driving 80 on the freeway and you get 80-mile-per-hour winds in your face, you need the AC. So I actually, God, we're just gonna keep going, but I actually just test drove a Bolt EUV because I'm thinking about getting one for Amanda, and literally, I mean, I just went up Lincoln, like around, like from Adams, the Riverside Chevy, up Adams to Lincoln, then back on Victoria, down back to the Chevy.
Excuse me.
And I had the AC bumping because it was hot as shit, and that car had been sitting on the lot for some time.
No windshield protection.
For days. Yeah.
Yeah, and it wasn't tinted or anything. So at the end of the ride, it gives you like this little percentage based bar chart, sort of circular bar chart of what that battery went to. All right, some great Bolt EUV talk there. We ran out of storage on our computer. We're still running from, obviously the study, Frank's house. So a little technical difficulties there. We're going to close it out here. Thank you so much for everybody that tuned in. And special thanks to Dom for showing up. I mean, this was a great podcast. We had a really good time.
We did.
No,
And
thank you guys for having me. Always appreciate it.
We did.
Yeah, and we're definitely gonna have to run it back one day.
Yeah,
Of
we
course,
do.
yeah. You guys got my number. I'm in town. So.
Dom's a vet and he knows what he's doing here, so we could have honestly talked for 2 hours. So we are going to definitely need to return to this guest.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Hence us running out of storage on our
Yeah,
computer.
exactly. So like we always say, thanks for liking, commenting, subscribing, and sticking around to watch. And thank you, Dom, for being on here.
No problem. Thank you guys again. I
Cheers
appreciate
to
it.
80.
Cheers.
Brothers, cheers.
Number 80. Great episode.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you so much.
Peace out, everybody.
Peace
Shabbat-
out.
Shabbat shalom.